Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 188 is brought to you by Gray Ski, Mal, and Maya Davis, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to discuss the new KK Slider Build-A-Bear. Nina is going to teach us about some art in the museum, and we're going to talk about our recent Animal Crossing gameplay. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hey Chuy, I'm doing pretty awesome. You know, last week we had E3 and it was really nice. Maybe the best week of the year for a bunch of us. Right now I'm looking forward to E4. I think it's their mission is to top E3 in every possible way. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what it is, but it should be fun.
They've exciting electronic entertainment expo.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's for everybody who wasn't thrilled by the direct last week. And then, hi Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I've had a very chill weekend, which is really nice after being so busy. So doing good. But what are you doing right now, Chuy?
Oh, so much moving. Most of our stuff is officially packed up and in the pod itself. So we're almost there. We packed up the kitchen today. We don't have anywhere to eat or anything to eat on. So it's just going to be an eating out type of week this week, which I don't mind. It's fun. But yeah, I guess this is the last episode that I'm recording in this place where the whole podcast started. Haken started in this very room where I'm recording today, the only room that isn't echoey in the place now, because we still have some things. I mean, it's all basically packed up and ready to go, but yeah, it's the end of an era. It's gonna be a whole different show from here on out. Just kidding. It's gonna be mostly the same.
Onward and upward.
Yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, I guess let's get into the show for today. The first big thing that I think we need to talk about is that we got the KK Slider Build-A-Bears. Specifically, Sergio and I did. Nina, you have skipped this one, but
I'm boycotting.
I mean, wow. he's so good. He's so naked. It's perfect. So I guess Sergio, I want to start by asking you, what do you think of the KK Slider Build-A-Bear?
Oh, I absolutely love him. You know, we predicted this to happen, and it happened. It was meant to be. I mean, again, hopefully in a way, I hope it's the end of the collection because that means they saved the best for last, right? But we'll see. We'll see. I love him. I have one minor complaint that we'll talk about later. I don't know if you're gonna agree, but overall, I love him and I'm very happy with him.
Yeah. That's good. I feel the same. I don't know if yours looks as grumpy as mine, but mine looks kind of grumpy. I don't know if it's like he kind of has a big forehead, and it just helps his grumpy look for sure. He's very tall. He's got really long legs.
Yes.
Oh.
And I love him so far. Every time I walk by him, I click on him to listen to some KK disco, and I love that he awoos. He's got that little howl in that song. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a remix, I feel.
Yes.
With that howl thrown in. So kind of a nice change. But I guess I do want to ask you, like, is there anything you would change about KK Slider? Like this Build-A-Bear?
Yeah, I there's only one thing. I just wish I guess we can call it like the voice box or the music that comes with it. It's so quiet. Like I have it next to my Score Bunny Build-A-Bear, which also has his voice, and it's way louder, like considerably. Poor little KK, it's too quiet. I wish it was louder.
I totally feel the same. I wish he was louder because I think my Isabel and Tom Nook are very loud.
Oh, wow.
Compared to, yeah, like I mean, they were boxed up by the time KK Slider came up, so I haven't been able to like hear them side by side. But I know for a fact they were both louder than this KK Slider is. And I'm like, come on, KK Slider is a performer. He's got to be loud. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it is kind of quiet. I would like it more if my Isabel and Tom Nook were at that same volume, you know?
Oh, they're louder?
But I mean, if they were quieter or if KK Slider were louder, but like I just
Right,
wish they
right,
were
right.
at equal volumes, you
Yes.
know? Yeah. My thing that I would change about him is along the same lines. I agree with the voice box thing, but I'm gonna go a little bit further. I kind of wish they went with sounds like Isabel and Tom Nook, where he got his voice as well. Like you could get some dialogue from KK Slider instead of just the KK Disco song, you know?
Hmm.
So I would love if his voice box not only had like him speaking some dialogue, doing some of the emotes like Tom Nook and Isabel, but also like cycle through some different KK Slider songs, kind of like he does at the plaza while he's sitting in
Yes.
New Horizons. So that would be like the big change for me because right now I do like that I went with KK Disco because it's actually like a KK rendition of the song. I also kind of wish they would have gone with like KK's rendition of New Horizons, not like the recorded version,
Right,
right?
right.
Oh.
Hmm.
Um so I did go with KK Disco because of that, but I would also like, just enjoy him saying different things, singing different songs, and I feel like it would make him feel more alive because when I click the Isabel and Tom Nook voice boxes and hear them speak, sometimes it just sounds like they're having a conversation with each other. Like I'll click one of them and then I'll click the other and they're just like talking back and forth to each other. um so I feel like we're not going to get that same kind of thing out of KK Slider, so it just won't it won't have the same effect.
Hmm.
And it makes me a little sad, and I'm just like I wish they were easier to change out the voice boxes. I think you basically
Right.
have to like tear them
Yeah,
apart to
yeah.
get to it at this point. Um which, not something I want to see done to my little Tota
No.
KK. Oh, I had a question for you. What did you name? Did you fill out like the birth certificate or anything when you ordered?
Oh, no, no, I didn't. Did you?
Yeah, I actually did. You can like, write on it because they leave spaces open for you, right?
Right.
I made his birthday, of course, KK Slider's birthday, but I made the year 2001 for marking when Animal Crossing released.
Right.
And then instead of calling him KK Slider, I did call him Tota KK.
Nice. Accurate.
Yeah, yeah. So I went with his, full name
Yes.
instead. Because, I was like, it's your birth certificate. We all
Yeah.
know you're KK Slider, but that's your stage name, right? Um,
Nice.
so yeah, no, that was something I did. And then as for the people who like stuffed it, I was like, Nintendo. Nintendo stuffed this. um, yeah, and I do want to remind you all if you are interested in these Build-A-Bears, but 51 bucks plus shipping is a little too high for you, they are still available at the store.nintendo.com, at least for the North American store. I don't know if this is going to be the same in different regions. I don't really know how to get to those other sites. I think there's options to change them. But as of right now, both Tom Nook and Isabel in their winter and summer outfits are there for $44 instead of 51. They don't have the voice box and you don't have to pay higher than $5 for shipping. That store.nintendo.com is always $5 shipping no matter
Hmm.
what you get and how much. So
Oh, nice.
that's a pretty nice little deal there. Um, and then I have one last question for you, Sergio. Would you recommend the KK Slider Build-A-Bear?
Let me think. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, we're all fans of Animal Crossing, but who doesn't love KK? I honestly don't know anybody that doesn't. Yeah, maybe you prefer one of the other characters, but again, there's only three that have plushies, so you should have a KK Nina.
But I don't even have Isabel. Okay, but I have a question because you have lots of KK merch. So, like, compared to other plush that you have, does he hold up? Does he like look the same? Does he? I mean, how does he look? He looks good.
He looks different. New
Oh
Horizons
no!
look different, so it kind of matches. He has a new
Okay,
look in New Horizons, so maybe this is the
that's
new
true.
look for the plush.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, and I wanted to know that too, like just how you felt about this plush versus the many other KK Slider plushes you have.
Yeah.
Is he, I guess, where would you rank him? Is he in your faves? Is he kind of lower on the list?
He's upper on the list because he's like more official, being Build a Bear
Mm.
and having boys. I don't think I have any that have voice. So yeah, that puts him up there for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's pretty nice. It's kind of like I said, the KK Disco song is a good one to go with him. Solid song for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and for me overall, I like him. He's pretty fun. Like I said, I can't help but hear that KK Disco song every time I'm right next to him. I'm just like, yeah, let's jam out a little bit. There are cheaper KKs out there, so if you don't want to befriend this KK, there are others. But overall, I think it's great. Build quality is fun, and he does come with a little guitar, which is nice. And it's removable.
Yes.
You can watch him
Oh.
just in all his glory. If that's what you're into.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, Build-A-Bear, once again, fun little plushies. I have, all the characters so far. I wish I had
Nice.
Winter Isabel instead of Summer Isabel. I think
Yeah.
Winter Isabel's cuter than Summer Isabel, but I'm okay with Summer Tom Nook. I think the little Nook ink thing really works with him. But both the Winter and Summer Tom Nooks are really cute.
I wonder what KK is, winter or summer. I wonder if we'll get a different one.
He's
Year round KK.
year round.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they're not selling I guess the outfits separately. It's messed up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many cute outfits.
And they should have made a DJ KK outfit
Yeah.
for him.
And his little
So,
hat that he wears sometimes.
really cute.
Mm.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let Nina take over from here. Ninart Corner. Nina and Art put together.
Is that what we've landed on? We've landed on Ninart?
Yes.
Yeah,
Nina
Sergio
and
said it, and
Blathers.
it's perfect.
No.
Yeah, so I guess Nina, take it away.
Okay, so we're moving down the list. Like I said last time, we had a little art corner. I'm going alphabetically through the names that Blathers calls the arts. So we
Right.
did the academic painting last time, which is Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. And this time we are doing the amazing painting, which is also known as The Night Watch by Rembrandt van Rijn. So he's Dutch, and there's a lot of Dutch names coming up. So if anyone who is Dutch is listening, please forgive me for butchering your beautiful language. I'm going to try my best, though.
I'm glad it's not me doing this. I would do terribly.
I'm so nervous. But this is a really cool painting, and I actually didn't know much about it until Animal Crossing. So it's one of those like really fun instances where Animal Crossing teaches you things, which, as you guys know, is like my favorite thing about the game. In New Horizons, the amazing painting does have a fake, so you'll have to look out for the hats that the two main figures are wearing in order to get a real night watch. And it's not one of the haunted paintings, so you don't have to worry about that. The name in real life is called the Night Watch, and I'm going to talk about that later, which is really interesting because it's inaccurately named, which they found out years and years later. So that's super cool. And like I said, it's by Rembrandt, who painted it in 1642 during the Dutch Golden Age, which we're going to get into also, which is cool. So it's oil on canvas, and it is currently in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, Netherlands. I could not find what Blathers says about this painting online. About in New Horizons, but I did find the one in New Leaf says a painting of a city militia that was found after restoration of the work to take place in the daylight. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more too. I'm glad that Blathers has already given us that information, which is cool. Okay, so the movement. It's a Baroque movement, also called the Dutch Golden Age, which is super interesting because it signaled the end of the 80-Year War when Dutch gained independence from Spain. And before then, a lot of paintings, like many during that time and before that time, were either commissioned by military or religious people to show their history. But this new movement kind of came along where Dutch painter realized they could make more money more often by selling paintings of everyday life to just regular people. So private portraits and still lives and landscapes and seascapes and peasant life paintings really boomed in this era, which was huge because like normal people didn't own paintings before this back then. So that's cool, I think. So you'll see, actually, there's a couple of paintings from the Dutch Golden Age in Animal Crossing. So, like, another example is the one where the girl is tipping the milk, you know?
Right.
That's the same thing. And it's a painting of just everyday life. So I thought that was pretty cool to learn about. The reason this painting is important is because of how enormous it is. It is 750 pounds and
Whoa.
it's 12 feet by 14 and a half feet tall. So
What?
it's enormous. So I don't know if either of you guys have this in your museum in New Leaf, but it takes up most of a wall in the museum, which is amazing.
I think this is one of 2 art pieces that I'm missing.
Oh no, I don't have this one either. I've only seen pictures of it in other people's museums, but it's super cool.
I can tell it's huge just because of the amount of space on that wall that's left and that the fact that it's the only thing on that wall that's missing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I can't imagine looking at this in real life. It's got to be just incredible to see.
Yeah.
750 pounds. Well, and I'm gonna jump ahead actually because this painting also has like a history of violence. And in 1715, it was cut down from its original size in order to move it more easily. So it was actually bigger than 12
Whoa.
feet by 14 and a half feet at one point, and no one knows where the extra parts are anymore. Isn't that crazy? I'll come back to the, it's kind of violent past in a second, but I just think that's really cool. So it's a military portrait of Captain Frans Bennek Koch, who's in red, and Lieutenant Willem van Ruitenburg in yellow after a victory. And traditionally, this painting would have been static. It would have been like the two leaders, like with their men around them, kind of in a victory pose, but Rembrandt decided to make it, more dynamic and interesting, and again add that kind of like peasant life all around them. So that's another reason why this painting was like so different than other ones of its time, because of the movement and the depiction of everyday life. But there's like chickens in the background that are being caught that serve as like representation of their military victory or whatever. And apparently all throughout the background, there's like visual representations of the war and everything like that, which is super interesting. But so they're walking and talking about strategy, and it kind of brings those two subjects to life instead of them being like heroic and static. It kind of gives them, I don't know, personality and depth instead. So people really enjoyed that. And like Blather said earlier, the night watch is incorrect. For years, this painting was covered in like a really dark varnish to preserve it. And then only recently, I think in 2011, actually, they took an LED light over it to kind of get a better look and realized that it's covered by this varnish and it's actually bright and beautiful and colorful. And they're like, we need to fix this. So I think they're working on that right now.
Oh, wow.
They're also, go ahead.
Is the version that we're seeing, that must be like the varnished one, right?
It is, yeah, because it hasn't been like completely restored yet. They're working on it right now. They're also working on like imaging it for the internet. They're and I think you can watch this live on the Rijksmuseum's Instagram or something like that, where they have this like machine that's encased in glass on a hydraulic lift that's like slowly taking high quality digital pictures like inch by inch so that people
Hmm.
can blow it up and look at it online like across
Mm.
the world, which is pretty amazing. I don't know if
Wow.
that's finished yet, but I think it was started in 2019. Which just like when they were trying to move the Vitruvian Man in 2019, everything, kind of kind of got blown up a little bit. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully I'll be able to find out for us what's happening with all of that restoration and imaging. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys ready to hear about the violence now?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say it's amazing that like both of these pieces so far have such like recent stories in their
Yeah.
history too. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think that like art history restoration and stuff is kind of going through a boom in the past few decades where the technology they've discovered and everything has just been so advanced that they can really get a deeper look at these paintings, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I
Let's hear violence.
Okay, violence. So before, like I said, in 1715, it was chopped to bits so that it could be moved more easily. They were like, this is way too big. And then in 1911 and in 1975, the painting was slashed with knives by people who like got past security.
Oh.
Then in 1990, someone got past security with a spray bottle of acid and sprayed acid all
Oh.
over it too. So one of the slashings was in protest to a bad economy and an inability to find work, and the other two incidents were sadly results like of untreated mental illness. So it's a little
Hmm.
upsetting that it was targeted, but also we need to get some reform and help people who need help all over the world, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
luckily, it was fully restored each time, so that's good. Oh,
That's awesome.
that's
That
the night
how
watch.
people are amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen those like terrible restorations of things, and it makes me squirm in
Yeah.
my seat. I'm just like, oh no, I could never be put in charge of this. It would be so bad. But just like yeah, the people's ability to bring this stuff back from the dead basically is truly amazing to me.
Have either of you guys seen that show on Netflix? What is it called? Oh, it's called The Repair Shop. It's like a British show that's a cross
Hmm.
between Antiques Roadshow and The Great British Bake Off. Have you guys watched
I've
that?
not seen
No.
this. I've never heard of it.
It's incredible. It's like these artisans who restore family heirlooms, and you get to know the like story behind the piece, but then you also get to watch these people like, wipe away hundreds of years of grime and get like clocks to work again. It's if you're into this kind of restoration stuff, that is a must watch.
All right, where can we watch this? Jackie would also love this.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay, cool.
The Repair Shop.
Putting it on my list.
Yeah. All right. Well, there
That's
you go.
awesome.
There's the Nina takes you to the museum with Blathers and talks to you about some art corner, Ninart.
Well, that was amazing, to say the least. Thank you for taking us through the amazing painting as we know it in Animal Crossing. And now I'm just like, once this thing is restored,
Hmm.
are we going to see the not, I guess, the new restored version in
Yeah.
Animal Crossing in the future? That's my
Oh.
question
That's
now.
a good question. I don't know how many layers deep they even want to go with it. Like I guess they can see through with the LED imaging or whatever how light it is
Mhm.
underneath, but I don't know how much of a risk they're willing to take on it. So who knows how much it's really going to change.
Yeah, I would just love that. I mean, I really do like what they've done with kind of the fake art in this game.
Yeah.
Just with like they the character they add to them is hilarious. I always crack up at the Mona Lisa with her like raised up eyebrows.
Yes.
It's so funny. So yeah, no, I'm really interested to see how they, I guess how they go about art pieces that are being restored at this point, because I imagine we'll probably keep seeing some similar pieces pop up. You know, there's some that
Yeah.
have been
Right.
in basically every Animal Crossing game. So yeah, if we see the amazing painting again, I want to see it real up to date, you know.
With a bright blue sky.
Yeah, amazing. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hop into our next segment. We are going to talk about some recent Animal Crossing gameplay stories. I guess I can start today. Basically, what I've been working on in Animal Crossing is, if you've caught the streams, you know, I've been catching 3 of every bug and fish at the moment. I'm down to 2 that are currently in season. Basically waiting for July for all the big palm tree bugs to come out and some
Oh.
other fish that I'm missing, you know? So that's one big project. But I guess the most recent thing that happened was Bella. I have finally let her move out. She's
Aw.
my little evil mouse. I love her. Such a great villain.
She had a best smile too.
Oh yeah, her smile, like she has a smile and then she has like squinty-eyed smile, which looks pretty intense and evil, and I love that one. But I've let her move away, and you know, like I said, I've been working on moving. I'm packing up and everything. So yesterday I decided, you know what? I can go villager hunting. I'm not gonna try really hard. I have 17 Nook Mile tickets in my pocket, and I'm like, how much am I gonna get through in this round? I'll just do this pack of 7, right?
Hmm.
And then leave the other 10, a nice clean full pack of 10. So I take I was calling it a 7 ticket break instead of a 7 minute break, right? And I basically recorded my results on on Discord as I was going through them. The first one I ran into was Eugene, and if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you know that Jackie had let Eugene move, and it was one of her regrets. She kind of wished she could get him back, right?
Mm.
And so I was like, you know, is he in my move-in queue? Is this like, should I just be auto-filling and seeing if Eugene is going to move in to my place? Unfortunately, the way the move-in queue works, if you are villager hunting and you have somebody in your queue, they will not show up in that villager hunt. They
Mm.
stay away. They are only going to move to your place if you autofill a plot. So
Ah.
basically, me running into Eugene on an island means I do not have Eugene in my queue at all, which means Jackie's Eugene is not on my island, and we don't know if he's gone anywhere, you know, so he might just be
Aw.
gone
Yeah.
forever. Yeah. Luckily, you know, as sad as that sounds, Jackie's like, I'm over it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not a huge deal, but it was kind of nice to get that confirmation.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, so I'll kind of take you through the rest of my trip here. So the second villager I ran into was Tipper, and Tipper was actually a villager that I adopted like very early on in the game. I thought I started getting a bunch of like cows, horses, chickens, pigs, and then I was like, am I just gonna have a farm
Oh, I
on my
remember
island? Is
that.
that yeah, so Tipper was my cow at that point. Um, I never got her photo. I let her move, so she'll probably see Haken again sometime, but yesterday was not the day. I kept going. So the next person I ran into was Lucky, and I that's another one that I had for a little bit during Halloween. I thought I was gonna have like a very Halloween themed town at that point, but then I realized October takes up so much of fall, you know, and I just, after I started getting all of these Halloween themed islanders, I was just like, no, I don't want my first fall to be this. I want to like enjoy it with like little woodland creatures that look really good in the browns and reds, you know? So I basically did that. I just went and skipped Lucky after a while. I didn't even keep them long enough to even become their friend to get their photo or anything. So another one I let go. Fourth, there was Ruby, and I really
Oh.
like Ruby. She's a
Mhm.
cute little space bunny,
Mhm.
and that's all I have to say about that. Fifth, I got Eugene again. That
Oh
was
wow.
weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, to get a duplicate in the first five people,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild. The next one I got was Antonio. He was number six. And I
Oh.
really like Antonio, but specifically, I want to call back to one of my favorite Haken art pieces. It is from November. It was it 2019 or 2018? I don't even remember at this point, but that November art with Antonio, where they look kind of like real animals, you know?
Oh
Oh
That's
yes,
one of
yes,
my
yes.
favorite
yeah.
Hmm.
pieces. Yeah,
With
so
Franklin.
they're at the table with Franklin, and who is the third at this
It's
point?
Savannah, isn't it? The zebra?
I
Oh,
think
it
you're right.
was Knox the chicken.
What? Oh.
Knox
Mm.
the
I'm thinking
chicken.
of.
I actually have it as my desktop background
Oh,
right now.
nice.
Oh.
But they all look like real animals and they're sitting around the table and it's very like maximalist style. I love that piece of art. From Ivy Teas,
Oh
if anybody
yeah.
wants a callback there.
Man, now I gotta figure out which one Savannah was in because I feel like that one was a little realistic.
That was
Yes. Hmm.
a little after, I think that was a January art or
Yeah, it had like a
February, I
wintry
forget.
theme for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Savannah's kind of inside drinking some cocoa
Yes.
or something,
Oh.
but it's inclement weather outside.
Hmm.
Kind of nice. And then I took a little potty break after that one, and I was like, oh, I'll do seven since I have 17. Might as well get rid of this pack and free up some space in my closet. Most of all, um, so the seventh and final ticket. I guess a little callback here. Like I said, Bella moved away, and I told people I'm working on getting all the non-amiibo villagers, and I told them all, it would make the most sense for me to get Audie because she's the peppy of the new group, right?
Right.
So after a short potty break, I went to that seventh island, and lo and behold, I run into Audie of
Wow.
No.
all characters. So I was just
Wow.
like, I cannot believe this. This is the luck for that to happen. 7 tickets in, running into the exact villager you're looking for. So Adi has now. Uh, she's moving in. I've already talked to her on
Wow.
my island at
Nice.
this point. So she's in boxes today as we record, but tomorrow she'll be one of the Haken crew, and I'll have to talk to her a little bit so I can give her the Haken sweater,
Yeah.
which is the tree sweater. And, all the letters for Haken are in there, but they're just silent or invisible.
Mhm.
Um, so, so yeah, I'm excited. This means I only need to get Sid and Dom now. And I'm
Mm,
done getting all of the new villagers for all their photos. And
yeah.
yeah, it's exciting. I'm pretty happy about that. I've been able to get two of them on my own, and the others have been very kindly donated to me, so I've adopted them.
And I think I
uh,
have Dom on Fox Cove.
oh, that's awesome.
I'm pretty
I'm gonna
sure.
Oh.
I'll
steal
have
them.
to look. I haven't played Fox Cove in a while. I need to check.
I'm gonna have to steal them.
Sid, I feel like is the most elusive. I don't think I've ever even seen him in game.
I don't think I have either. I know Tab had Sid at one point, but
Nice.
I passed him up after a bit.
Mm.
But eventually I will get Sid. He's definitely one of my favorites of those new ones. I really like
Yeah.
his punk look.
Me too.
Yeah. Is he a cranky? I think he's the cranky of the bunch because I know
Oh.
they added 8 villagers and I think they represented every personality with each of them.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could.
He is the cranky one.
Okay.
Awesome.
I could have sworn that Audie was snooty, but that might just be like the glasses look.
Yeah. I think the snooty is Judy,
Yes.
actually, because it rhymes,
Oh,
right? Snooty Judy.
interesting.
She's also evil.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
Is
that's
if y'all
she?
know this.
she's made of evil.
Yeah, no, I mean, luckily, Judy is I adopted by Sergio, so
Yes.
good.
Oh,
It stayed in the family. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean basically that's been my gameplay with Animal Crossing lately. I log in here and there. Right now I do know I have to do some like late night sessions in the game just to get the last fish that I'm looking for at the
mm,
moment. So
hmm,
they're only available at like 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. and I'm like I'm not getting up at 4 before 4 a.m. to fish for this. So it's gonna be a bedtime
yeah,
game for me, which is nice. It's kind of nice to change the times of day that you're playing Animal Crossing. So lately, I've been just kind of logging in a little bit later. I'll go in real quick to like run to the shops or something, but outside of that, like my main focus is getting every single bug and fish model.
yeah. So you have to get
Nice.
3 of each,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
4, I
and
guess.
I've got a decent list. At the moment, I had Flick today, so I did get the last bug that I actually had 3 of in my closet. So it'll be a little while before Flick will mean anything to me again. But luckily, you know, July is pretty soon. Just over
Yeah,
a week
yeah,
away. So but that's the hard part, actually finding all those bugs you're looking for.
Right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
finding them 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a struggle for sure.
You'll have to do a
S
ranking for us of like your favorite models.
yeah, I really need to put them out. I will tell you what my least favorite is. Like I know hands down, my least favorite is the snapping turtle model,
No way.
and it's because the model is way worse than just placing the snapping
Yes.
turtle
Yes.
itself. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
placing the snapping turtle, wonderful. The
Right.
model, it's slightly smaller. It doesn't
Oh.
snap. It's just like it's not as good as having the real thing. So that, yeah.
That snapping turtle
Also,
is magical.
I did see Squee in chat say a local Judy fan here. They said "my oh my." That's Judy's catchphrase, and Judy never asked me for a catchphrase because I really wanted to change it to "my homie." Because every time I saw "my oh my" as one word, I was like, "My homie, what's going on?"
my Yomi.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to change it to. But unfortunately, she never
No,
asked.
you
So
weren't good enough friends
Yeah,
because you
you
were
weren't
mean
her
to her.
homie.
Look, I wasn't the problem in this relationship. She was.
Oh my gosh.
She didn't like me. She was evil. All right, Sergio, I'm gonna let you take it over here. What has been your gameplay like lately?
Sure. So yeah, for the most part, again, I play on Saturdays. Like I guarantee, well, unless there's a like a fishing tourney or a bug catching tourney. If I know that, I'll wait until Sunday. But basically, I play every week to go see my boy KK
Hmm.
and get a song. It's a repeat. I don't mind. I just want to see him. I usually whistle along, so it's the best part of the week usually. But yesterday I did play a little bit extra because a friend of mine that I met on Twitter, he said he wanted help with his island, and I figured like it had to do with flowers, right? Because usually that's what it is. So I brought a
Hmm.
couple of extra shovels, and as I'm looking at the flyover, half of the island is infested with flowers, like all over the place. No rhyme or reason to the color or the placement. It's just Flower Nation. So he still doesn't know what he wants to do. So I'm gonna probably go back later, and it's gonna take a while. But I kind of like it because when you're working on something like that, or even like a big project, I remember also terraforming. It's very optimal to listen to like a podcast like Haken or any other podcast that you listen to. Just put that in the background and you're playing the game, you're multitasking. It's a lot of fun. You actually, it takes away that chore that it might feel like doing the hard work, and it makes it more
Hmm.
rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to go back a little bit. I kept just saying in my head, everything changed when the Flower Nation attacked. um, but yeah, no, I have also been kind of taking the game and like it helps to have just little goals. I feel like I'm at that point in Animal Crossing where I've just got like the little things I'm working toward, you know? Um, I think the next thing I'm gonna start really focusing on is getting all of the clothing in the game, like every single piece of clothing,
Oh
just to
wow.
start my catalog completion, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And I mean, the first thing I need to do is actually go through my app and mark everything. But yeah, little
Oof.
goals and just like listening to stuff in the background. I'll put on a YouTube video, which is usually like, a discussion on Nintendo stuff, like a podcast type of thing. Podcasts are really great with Animal Crossing.
Yes, yes.
And I think one of the most common pieces of feedback we get from the show or listeners of the show is people really like playing the game and listening to the podcast. So it's pretty nice to, that people are getting their daily session in just, while we're chatting about the game. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I like that advice, Sergio,
yeah.
because
Mhm.
it's stuff that I do too, and I really appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I also fired up the good old Pocket Camp. It's been a while,
Oh,
Oh.
and there's updates. Nina, I think you mentioned this too. But when you first open up the game after a while, there's so many things going on, and the game just keeps
Oh.
shoving things in your face about all the updates and all these new things that you can get. It's a
Yeah.
little overwhelming, but it was
Mhm.
nice to jump back in and exchange some presents with some friends.
I really wish Pocket Camp worked on my phone. Luckily, I went for a run and my phone fell out of my pocket and broke. The screen
Oh my
broke,
gosh.
so maybe I'll get a new phone that can
Yeah,
run Pocket Camp.
That's
there you go.
exciting. I mean, upsetting, but exciting.
I mean, it's only cut me a couple times.
Oh my gosh. Like your finger, like when you're swiping on things?
Not when I'm swiping. There's just one part where the glass is like clearly coming off, and every once
Oh
in
Oh
a while
my
I
man.
touch it and I get a little
gosh.
piece stuck in my finger. But I'm okay.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, Sergio, awesome. Pocket Camp, you're going wild with Animal
Yeah.
Crossing.
Don't forget
Yeah.
to take a trash can with you. Whenever I'm on flower duty, I like to keep a trash can in my pocket so I can just
Oh, good point.
throw some away. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Nina, I guess what have you been doing as far as Animal Crossing goes?
Not a lot, unfortunately. I have definitely fallen off the wagon and am missing it. Um, but so I've just finished a week of Harry Potter camp, a summer camp that I teach. And it was overwhelming. So I didn't get to play at all last week.
Hmm.
And was looking forward to having this week to kind of get back to normal and play Harry Potter. I mean, not play Harry Potter, to play Animal Crossing. But there is a huge Sea of Thieves update coming out tomorrow morning. I'm actually getting up at 5 to stream it with a
Oh
friend.
wow.
Wow.
And I just have a feeling that it's gonna be all week long. I'm gonna be playing Sea of Thieves, so I've got to get back into Animal Crossing. I haven't even played the wedding event again yet. I've got to do it.
Mm.
So I've got to carve out some time to do that. And I think like you're doing, Chewy, like right before bed is gonna be the answer for me. But just like Sergio said, I've also opened back up Pocket Camp. Because there's always little time that you can play a quick game on your phone, and also like Sergio said, it is truly overwhelming when
Yeah.
you first open it up. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to have like the little notifications or the exclamation marks next to an item, so I have to get rid of all
Oh
of them.
yes, yes.
So I have to click on everything, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, stop popping up. So it's overwhelming. It almost made me want to like start everything over again and wipe the slate clean. But then, I think about like all the leave tickets that I've bought and all the one time the one-time items, the limited time items, and then like because it's a gotcha system, there's no like guarantee that I'd get certain items back if I can buy those fortune cookies again. So
Hmm.
I don't think I can restart Pocket Camp. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just need to take some time and kind of learn the new stuff and remember the old stuff. I even think that there's a gyroid scavenger hunt going on right now for like techno music items. So I got to see that. I'm not really into the more modern item stuff, but Pocket Camp has such great items that those I don't know, those little adorable details keep bringing me back.
Yeah. The scavenger hunts were always my least favorite,
Yeah.
though. They're so long. I feel like that one, more than any of the other events, has you logging in so much more. And I guess I feel that in the sense of like you have to just like I don't know, you just don't get enough gyroids each login and you have to go to
Mm,
all these different places to do it. Whereas like the other events it's just like I can stay at my campsite and go water my flowers, or I
right.
can stay at the beach and catch the fish, you know?
Well, and you guys know how much I hate loading screens, so going between each of the areas is no fun.
Yeah, it's a pain.
I'm surprised that they haven't come up with new events. Like it seems to be the same three being recycled. What is it? The flower event, the scavenger hunt, and then there's a third one, isn't there? It'd be like
Um,
three in a row that all had the same type of items that you could get.
I think it's the flower fishing and then
Fishing.
scavenger hunt,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there
Fishing.
you go.
It'd be those
Mm-hmm.
three, and then those were the items, and you'd wait for the next cycle. So I don't know. I feel like we're ready for some new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and that literally has not changed since I don't even know how
Yeah.
long, since
Yeah.
long before we stopped playing.
Exactly. Exactly. But there's
Yeah.
also, the Happy Home Academy and now this new um well, like they just came out with like the city themed items, so that's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm excited to get back into it. I don't know if I'll be as into it as I was before, but it's a fun little time waster.
Yeah, it's nice to get in between for sure. And like I said, I mean, I do miss it, even though it's got its problems as a game. But I think overall, like, I wish it worked on my phone and I could keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to our final little topic here, and that is Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here on the show. This week's question was, who is your favorite kangaroo villager? And Nina, I know you're not a fan of the kangaroos, and
Wow.
this is kind of the reason I asked
I'm
it, just because
sorry.
they're a lot like the gorillas, I find, where a lot of people just don't like the kangaroos. So on this, we'll go Nina, then me, then Sergio.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a compiled list of answers right here, all from the Haken Islander Discord, where Tab, M, and Waffles all joined in. So I'm going to start with Tabs, and she said, I had Walt on my island for a while. He fit perfectly into the Asian themed area of my island. The scar on his face makes you wonder about his past. Something tells me he knows how to use a katana. Very underrated cranky villager. And then Islander M added underneath. I just got Walt the other day to be the keeper for my graveyard. I love his whole look. He's my new cranky Roo. And then Waffles added, I'm going to jump on this Walt train. I just had to look up who the kangaroos are because I only know of two, Carrie and Astrid. But Walt is clearly the top Roo. So cute.
Yeah, lots of Walt fans, and I've always been a fan of the kangaroos personally. I think I just really liked the animals in general when I was a kid. So when I ran into like I think Carrie was my first kangaroo
Mm.
in the first Animal Crossing, and I had her as one of my villagers, and I was just like, she's so cool. You're my best friend. So I was a fan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Walt, very good choice, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll see more of him pretty soon. Our next answer is from Heart Abduction, and they said Astrid is the best. And
Oh.
Astrid is the kangaroo with kind of like, the star tattoo over her eye, but
Oh yeah.
definitely very stylish, very, rock and roll type of character right there.
Nice. Allison said, "Oh my god, I'm so glad you asked. Marcy! Her and her little Roo are two of my favorites, and I will never let her leave my island. She's the sweetest villager I have, and we are best friends." Allison, thank you so much for pointing out probably the best thing about kangaroo, at least the female ones. You get two villagers in one. You get two villagers as a duo. With the little Roo,
I'm
I
glad
count
you
them.
love them so much. I'm glad you do.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. What's not to love?
I just think it's creepy. But that's just me. I know everybody has their own loves. Let's see. Yuri Young says, most of them look angry to me or dopey, neither of which I care for, except for Marcy, who is really cute. But she's a normal type villager, which isn't a type I like much. If she was snootied, we'd be in business. That's cool. That would be fun if you could kind of like change
Yes.
their personalities. Like maybe on the way you interact with them, they could kind of follow
Yeah.
your lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be really fun. So our next answer is from Kakulu, and they said, Walt has a dueling scar. That's all I need to know. So yeah, a lot of people really like, the action that Walt brings to their lives,
Yeah.
Nice. And our last answer is from Danica Bryan, and they said, I've actually never had a kangaroo villager before, but at a glance, I think I would pick, yes, you guessed it, Walt.
Lots of Walt
Yeah.
love.
So much Walt love, which is great. I really like that one. Really good choice. And has one of those Zen-style homes that you like,
Yeah.
Nina.
Yeah. I do like when they have a beautiful home. And I do like their big old feet. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, their feet are great.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube, the comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Who is your favorite kangaroo villager? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a Wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.